Hello everyone. The second module of our course deals with the mathematics in decision making. We all make decisions in our lives, whether it be a life-changing decision or just a minor one. Moreover, we also make group decisions through the use of voting to solve a particular issue about how we should move forward in our day-to-day lives. In this module, we shall discuss ideas and concepts using the mathematical areas game theory and social choice theory. Game theory is a math area that does not focus solely on fun games, but it also deals with life situations in which one would weigh his or her options in order to make an advantageous choice. In this first video, we shall discuss some key definitions and description about game theory. Let us begin by stating a classical problem in game theory, which we call the prisoner's dilemma. Two suspects were caught and interrogated by the police in separate rooms. Three cases were presented to them. The first case is if only one of them confesses, the one who confesses goes to jail for 1 year, and the other who doesn't confess will go to jail for 25 years. The second case is when neither of them confess, then both of them or each of them will go to jail for 3 years. And the last case is if both of the suspects confess, then each of them will go to jail for 10 years. This is a pictorial representation of the prisoner's dilemma scenario. As you can see, each suspect has two choices. One is to confess, and the second is to remain silent or do not confess. So as you can see, for each case and for each person, you see the number of years that they will spend in jail. Now the problem is, if you are one of the two suspects, what are you going to do in this scenario? Are you going to confess or are you going to remain silent? What would be your quote-unquote best response and what would be the other suspect's best response? Now note that the outcome of the game for each suspect depends also on the decision of the other suspect. One suspect is not assured of getting his desired outcome because he has to wait for the decision of the other suspect. If we use logic, a suspect choosing to remain silent would either get 3 years or 25 years in jail. However, a suspect choosing to confess would give him either 1 year or 10 years in jail, hence avoiding the possibility of spending 25 years in jail. So logically, it would be best for both players to confess even if they need to spend in jail for 10 years. So what is game theory? Game theory is the study of strategic interaction between participants in a situation that contains a set of rules and a set of outcomes. In the prisoner's dilemma scenario, the participants or the players are the suspects, and the set of rules is each player should choose whether they are going to confess or remain silent in the situation. And the set of outcomes would be the number of years that they will spend in jail. Now you know that game theory consists of a set of players and a set of actions for each of them. Now there are games that require only one action or one move, but there are games that would require a sequence of actions or sequence of moves. Now if we have a sequence of actions, then we call this a strategy. Now each player would receive a payoff that depends on the actions of all the players involved. So this means that in game theory, the outcome for each player depends on the collective decisions of all the players in the game. The basic idea in game theory is that it answers the question, what would be the player's best strategy to different moves of the other players to achieve the quote-unquote best or maximum payoff. In this case, the player is not assured of getting the maximum payoff because he is playing against the best strategy of the other players as well. So here are some situations where we can apply game theory. First, a person deciding which mode of transportation to use. In this scenario, the commuter chooses to ride a jeepney, train, bus, cab, or use grab car. However, his decision depends on some external factors like weather and flood conditions, and as well as budget constraints. Second, it could be businesses competing in a market. Two rival businesses could advertise their products or not. Third, it could be a sports game. In a sports game like basketball, suppose that your team is behind by 3 points in the last 15 seconds of the game, and it is your team's ball possession. What would your team do? Should your team go for a quick 2 points? Or should your team go for a 3-point shot? Now also, it can be applied to group decisions like choosing where to eat. And then the group decides to share the food and split the bill. If you are part of the group, should you eat less or eat more? Should you pay less or pay more? Furthermore, game theory can be applied in biology by observing and describing strategies of species fighting for survival. Now you have an idea on what happens in game theory. In the next video, we shall look into the different classifications of games.